We cannot know for certain whether Sophie and Zanfir Solomon saw the celebrity when he returned, but we may presume they got word of his arrival soon enough. It was the bitter winter of 1899, and the couple were in their mid-30s, married for 16 years and raising a growing nest of children. Their home county, Vaslui, was a sparsely populated chunk of land in eastern Romania, containing just over 110,000 people, roughly 6,800 of them Jews like the Solomons, all of them struggling through a devastating recession. But even in the long, bleak nights, there was cause for excitement in the local Jewish community. The prodigal son was on his way. For months before, if you had put your ear to the ground, you might have heard the distant rumble of his approach, and Vaslui held not only its ear to the ground, but its breath, wrote Marcus Eli Ravage, a Vasluiander of the Solomons era. On the street, in the market, at the synagogue, we kept asking one another the one question: when will he arrive? At last, the long-anticipated landsman rode a midnight train into town, and on his finely tailored frock coat lay the scarcely visible dust of a place the Solomons may have heard of but could barely imagine. A place where the laws of the old world didn't apply, perhaps even the laws of physics. Given that it was on the other side of the world, it was said that people walked upside down there. A place where a Jew could be whatever he saw fit to be. I had heard of people going to Vienna and Germany and Paris, and even to England for business or pleasure, but no one, to my knowledge, had ever gone to America of his own free will, Ravage continued. And yet, here was one of their own, back from 14 years in what they called New York, decked out in finery such as they'd never seen. The streets were lined with craning, round-eyed, tiptoeing Vasluianders, open-mouthed peasants, and gay-attired holiday visitors from neighboring towns who, having heard of the glory that had come to Vaslui, had driven in their ox carts and dog carts to partake of it, Ravage recalled. Perhaps Zanfir and Sophie and their 9-year-old daughter, Celia, were among the rubberneckers. If so, they would have been astounded by the man's diamonds, his capacity to rattle off words in the alien tongue of English, and his trunk full of presents. There were railways that were wound up like clocks and ran around in their tracks like real trains, and dancing Negroes, and squawking dolls, and Jews' harps, and scores of other delights for the palate as well as the fancy, Ravage reported. The returnee said he was working for the American government in a high post, and, though he maintained a humble demeanor, he alluded to a significant fortune. Surely the Solomons heard tell of what happened when the man went to synagogue on Saturday. He received the honor of an aliyah, an opportunity to recite a blessing alongside the holy scrolls of the Torah, which came with the obligation to make a donation, and instead of the customary 3 or 4 francs, the man calmly offered 125 of them. From that day on, wrote Ravage, Vaslui became a changed town. Suddenly, it seemed like everyone had the notion to pack up and leave. But wait, was it true that, as one local with information from overseas said, the man was wildly exaggerating his success? Sure. Did Ravage later find out that this revered individual, whom he nicknamed Cuza, a Romanian word denoting royalty, was actually a mere foreman in a bedspring factory, his wife a dressmaker, and his palatial New York estate just a fraction of a flat? Of course. Did any of that matter? Not one jot.